Hello, DJO. Mr. Roque here for some more wisdom from the annals of my mind. I was going to have a duck race today. It was a little cold, and the ducks are not really up for it. They are just staying warm right now. And then I decided maybe I can talk to you a little bit about the quarantine and its effects. So I think you probably, some of you will hear this from your teachers, you'll hear it from others, they'll say, in the quarantine, Shakespeare wrote King Lear, right? They'll say, that's my Shakespeare, my Riverside Shakespeare from college, it's an oldie, right? Or that Giovanni Boccaccio wrote the Decameron. I've been reading this. It's rated R. I don't suggest you should read it until you're over 17, but it's a very interesting book written in the 1300s during a time of plague and quarantine. And King Lear, I was reading through it, and you can tell that it was written during quarantine. Here's a quote for you. And worst I may be yet, and worst is not, so long as we can say this is the worst, right? There's a guy in quarantine. Or the cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen, right? And I don't want that to happen to any of us, but we are in the midst of a cold night. And, so you hear all these great stories of genius during times of quarantine. All these Victor Hugo's Les Miserables was written while he was in quarantine, while he was in exile in quarantine, I believe. And the miserable, that's what it's about. Les Miserables, the miserable, right? So that's what we can understand that a little bit. We're not all geniuses, as these videos are apt to show for me. And I wanted to show you something here, right? People asked me, a lot of people wrote me and said, Mr. Roque, why do you have 12 tires in your front yard? And I said, well, that's a good question, right? It's because of my wife, right? She grew up around here, and this used to be an orchard. So in the woods behind our house, there are hundreds of tires, right? Because they used to be at the bottom of each apple tree. My wife saw something on Pinterest. It's a beautiful thing. This is it. Yeah, it's very nice, right? It's very beautiful, isn't it? Right? So she decided to go out and make the kids go pull 12 tires out of the woods, clean them and paint them. They're going to paint them. She bought a gallon of paint, figuring that would cover all 12 tires. This is what you get right here in front of us, right? This is one of the tires. This is the most painted of the tires, right? It's not look, yeah, Joni, I think, did that one. She's proud of it. That's how things are. Anyways, and next to it is my monster of a espresso machine. I brought that out there for a reason too, right? So my wife is going to make planters out of these things and have the kids grow vegetables in each one. And then she had this great idea. It looked all Pinterest, and it's going to be all nice. And of course, it turns out like this. And my great thing over the thing is to get this espresso machine to work, right? It never has. Actually, when I plug it in, it blows a fuse every single time. But I've taken it apart. I'm tinkering around. My goal is to get it to work, right? For any real reason? No. I have another espresso machine that works just fine. This is like a commercial grade espresso machine that someone gave to me because it didn't work, but my goal is to get it to fix. No purpose whatsoever. Sort of like us bringing up these ducks over here. That's not the most productive, but it's kind of fun, something to do. And I'm looking for you, I'm asking you, during this time to find something to do. I also do Duolingo. I'm trying to learn Italian. Why? Just to pass the time. 20 minutes a day I do it. Look, Seggioli? I'm not sure. Anyways, that's cheer. I go around and say these things to my kids. I call one of them Lo Squalo, the shark, right? Lo Squalo. One of my children I refer to as the shark, right? These are things that, they're worth, people always say, if there's a thing worth doing, it's worth doing well. That's for the geniuses who write things like this. There's also another saying by G.K. Chesterton, which I think is much more apt and something we should look into. If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing badly. And that's that's my message to you today in the fading sun. Try something, have some fun, do it badly, fail miserably. And seniors, get me those videos. I need those videos. Be good. That means you ducks. Ankara. Antara. Be good.